do whatever you desire to do, and you don't understand why other people get hung up about how life is supposed to be sad and miserable. Okay, that's not you, though. Kind of annoyed with you for going ahead and doing what you do. Hello there, Gemini. I'm Michele B, and I'm going to be bringing you some messages, some tarot messages about love and money. And whenever you get these messages, that's when you're meant to hear them. If they resonate with you, that's all that matters. Time is very fluid. It's moving all over the place. So just because I posted this now doesn't mean that 2 years from now it won't mean something to you. So anyway, gonna go ahead and get started talking about the main theme that I feel coming up. In general, you're feeling like, I'm okay, right? I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm coming out the other side. Even though it seems like there's some people that might be kind of annoyed with you. And it's not like you're purposely going around annoying people. It's just you are free to do whatever you desire to do, and you don't understand why other people get hung up about it. And then you're like, hey, why don't you just go do this? Why don't you go do that? And people are like, you don't know what it's like to be me. And then they get all annoyed with you. And then there's other stuff going on in the love department. I'm going to be talking about that later on in the reading. But, first we're just going to go pull back. Somebody's pretty upset with you. All right, if you resonate with that, hang on through this reading. But what you're leaving behind having the approval of other people in everything that you do. This card came up a few times in the reading, and we're going to go into that a little bit further when we go on with it. But it's like, in the past, you were like, because you're such a social person, you want other people to approve of you in what you do, and you're finding out that miserable people will not approve of you being happy. So if other people are not happy with their lives and you're happy with your life, then you're like, well, I guess I can't depend on their opinions anymore, right? Excuse my itchy nose. It means that there's magic happening when my nose starts itching. Woo! Okay, so what you're embracing going forward, we got that Two of Pentacles, indicative of Pisces. It's a challenge for Pisces to make decisions and to come to decide that they're going to do one thing. I know you've been juggling quite a bit, but you're being asked to just stop messing around and make a decision about what you're doing, where you're going to go. Particularly when it comes to your abundance, your prosperity, to make a decision and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stick to that one thing, and I'm going to go forward with it consistently for a period of time until I start to see results. And then when it comes to your love life, it's like, make a decision that other people's opinion doesn't really matter that much on what it is that you want to do, who you want to see, and whether or not you want to stay in connections that aren't working for you anymore. And without any further ado, we're going to go into detail in the money arena. Overall, I can see you being very optimistic, Gemini. I see you being kind of like, things are looking up for me. I can see that things are changing, right? But it's on the basis of a background. You've got a backstory that wasn't just yours. It is a longer term legacy. That's why the world had come up in this part of the reading. It's a longer term legacy that was passed on to you of essentially poverty, right? And it's not like your family, the people, the background that you came from was, or even if they weren't poor, they had the mentality that they were poor, that they were stuck, right? Anyway, they were perfectly happy people, like, the norm, baseline satisfaction, but you weren't aware of the opportunities that were out there for you until recently. Things have changed quite a bit, even in the last couple years, socioeconomically, for people to be able to embrace opportunities for increasing their wealth as they never have before. So things are really good for that. And if you came from a community where people just work at regular jobs and make minimum wage and, pay rent and just kind of are miserable, then you don't know what your possibilities are out there. So that's why these two Four of Pentacles came up. It's like, I don't know what opportunities there are for me out there because I'm too busy looking at how life is supposed to be sad and miserable. Okay. That's not you though. I got this really distinct impression that that's the background that you came from, that you're trying to raise yourself out of. You're trying to raise your awareness of wealth in the world so that you can bring it in. So like, I'm done with that. I've made a decision. I've made a decision that I'm not going to live that way anymore. I'm going to live in gratitude and optimism. Okay, so these two were right on the top. In the upright, I'm going to base my reality on gratitude and optimism for what I have now and for what is to come. And that's going to make a huge difference in the quality of the opportunities that are coming to you and your ability to embrace them going forward. So, patience. I know it's not something that you do well, but you're being asked to be patient as you go forward, because you are learning skills in being able to manage wealth on an increasing level. Like every day you learn a little bit more about how to be wealthy, because it's people win the lottery all the time. And they win hundreds of millions of dollars, and it all goes down the drain often because the people, just because they have money doesn't mean that they have the wealth mindset. So as you're learning more about how to handle money, how to take care of it, how to make it in, how to tend it and nurture it to help it to increase itself, to be healthy and increase itself, your opportunities for wealth are coming in more and more. And finally, we have this Page of Cups coming in. See, I see a cup here coming in. I see a cup here coming in. I see a cup here coming in. All of these cups are being handed to you, and you're like, okay, put things in my cup. I'm ready. You're a beginner, and that's okay. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody's got to start somewhere. But I see things looking good for you in developing and growing and increasing your ability to draw in and circulate increasing amounts of wealth. For your love messages, oh boy, oh boy, I think that somebody's kind of annoyed. It could be that you're annoyed with them, but I think for the majority, it's somebody else is kind of annoyed with you for going ahead and doing what you do. And I don't know what that is, but it essentially has to do with you exercising your freedoms. And this other person doesn't think that you should be able to do that. It could be a former partner, or somebody who cares about you but doesn't have your best interests in mind. They're just busy judging based on their own experience. But they're saying you broke my heart, you did this, you did that, and now I'm angry with you, and I got a bone to pick. That's why that Knight of Swords is here. It's like, I have angry words to say, not only to you, but to everybody else. My goodness, you poor thing, Gemini. It sucks when that happens. I have been in that position before, where I was told that me just being me was bad. Me exercising my personal freedoms was a bad thing, and I was a bad person. And they made sure that everyone that I knew was aware of all the sordid details of what a terrible person I am. And that might be going on with you, because I really get the sense that with these, remember I was talking about the Six of Wands in the introduction here. It seems to me that you're feeling kind of bummed out because you need your friends, you need even all the casual acquaintances. Knowing that people think poorly of you is just heartbreaking to you, and you're like, how can I connect with people if like everybody's upset with me over this? It's really got you feeling down. It's really got you feeling. Sometimes shit happens. And a lot of your misery right now has to do with your former attachment to what other people think of you. Okay? If you are not attached to what other people think of you, people being upset with you doesn't faze you. It's not an issue. So then we're looking at the law of attraction that way. You're thinking, everybody's mad at me. That's what you attract. What if you switch to, people don't really care that much, at least not for very long. They forget really easily. And everybody just gets on with their lives. And I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And eventually my behaviors, and we got that King of Pentacles here, my behaviors are going to prove in the long run. In the short term, I look bad. But in the long term, my behaviors are going to be of higher quality than the gossipers. The gossipers are low vibe, low quality acquaintances, whereas I am a high vibe acquaintance in that people's secrets are safe with me. I'm not going to go around saying mean things. I keep a positive attitude at all times. I try to be generous and kind to other people instead of putting them down and judging them. Slowly, over time, people will warm back up to you, and you don't have to worry about that. Now, I'm talking about friends and casual acquaintances, not necessarily love interests. Now, when it comes to love interests, though, over time, as you become more satisfied with yourself, you forgive yourself. You do have to forgive yourself for what happened with other people. And that's a huge, it's a huge obstacle. Like being angry with yourself or being ashamed of yourself for what happened between you and someone else is a huge block to being able to accept an intimate connection with someone new further down the line. So the sooner you can become at ease with who you are and the choices that you made, the sooner you can attract these new acquaintances. But it might take time. I'm really hearing that it's going to take a little bit of time for all the forgiveness to set in. In the meantime, you got to do you, right? Whatever it takes for you to keep yourself in that really positive, self-loving, self-nurturing state. And it might mean taking a lot more time just for yourself, just for nurturing yourself. What little things can you do to show yourself that you love yourself? What little things can you do to hug yourself and nurture yourself? What would like some ideal parent do for you when you came home and you're sad because the kids were mean to you on the playground? Or you did something, like you came home and you were like, Mom, I said something mean to one of my friends and now they're mad at me. What would your mother say to you, the ideal mother, say to you to make you feel better about the whole thing? Say those things to yourself and do those things for yourself. Make yourself some tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich, for Pete's sake, and be like, it's all going to be okay. Everyone is going to forget about all this in time. And you get to start fresh over and over and over again. That's the beautiful thing about life, is that you always get to start fresh again. I love it. And I'm going to leave this reading exactly where it is. In the description box below this video, you'll find a link to my Instagram, so where I post messages for all of you every day. And you'll find a link to my booking page where you can set up an appointment for yourself for a private consultation to find out how to bring more money and more love into your life. And also you'll find my tip jar so that you can send me a couple dollars if you really loved this reading, if it was really meaningful, and if you got a lot out of it. And with that, I bid you adieu. Gemini, you're all right. Everything's going to be fine, and I'll see you later.